I've been diving since 1970. And one of these days I'll figure it out and maybe I'll do something else, but I don't think so. And what I've found is what's keeping fishermen back is the inability to work together. Independently, they're fantastic, but working together would lead them so much farther. I call that building social capital. Social capital is the idea of working together through enlightened self-interest, often putting integrity and fairness ahead of efficiency. Social capital is the involvement of a large segment of the fishermen in the port in the establishment of management structure with leadership, rules, and obligations.
If you can get everybody to work together, which is the hardest part, right? So if you can get everybody to work together and say, look, we can work together, form a cooperative where we can all pay into this, we can vote on it, we can work together on it, and there's not one person that owns it, there's not one entity, not one say this company over here has a bigger stake in this, so of course they'll take more of it, right? But if we can show people that we can work together cooperatively, I think it could really work.
As cooperatives around the world, and you'll see a lot in the lobster is a good example. They work together to set the market prices, and then they go out and do their job, but they are a group, and then they ship outwards. Does that make sense? They come together under one umbrella, and then they work out. But they don't look at, I'm not against you. We're all in this together to be, San Diego fish the best in the world.
Most small-scale fishermen recognize the need for shoreside infrastructure for fishing. And this is especially true today when more and more fishermen are direct marketing, replacing the processors and the middlemen. We're talking about where we tie up the boats, offloading, providing ice, freezer space, cooler space, processing, dry storage, and the delivery of product to the market. However, fishermen usually consider this mainly for themselves, for their individual fishing operations, rather than looking at it collectively. For the fishermen and the community at large to benefit from the improved infrastructure, we would have to consider the development of social capital.
It's something that we take on ourselves a lot of the times. Like some people even buy an ice machine and put it in their garage, or some people go get a commercial kitchen, or some people have their own storage here and there, that kind of thing. And it's just, it's expensive, and it takes away from what we want to do, which is go fishing.
Now, we have some benefits for the working together like this. Funding for the purchase of the equipment and leasing a space in the harbor is more easily done if the funder and the Port Authority know it will be used to benefit the community at large and not just the individual. There will be a need for maintenance, repairs, and servicing of equipment, which has to be done by the fishermen. Equitable sharing of the equipment will have to be determined, as well as arranging for the processing and delivery. One of the issues we have is restaurants order, and now we're delivering it individually. Every guy puts it in his truck or car and delivers it to the restaurant. So the restaurant may receive from 5 fishermen 5 different species. Now, if we were to work together, we'd have one truck, we'd hire a truck driver, it would come down to the docks, we'd load it onto the truck, much the same as the processor or the wholesaler does, and we'd have a list of deliveries, and he'd make a round of delivery. Collectively, we could afford the truck and a driver where we wouldn't have to do the things. I find that we're restricted by the number of restaurant customers by how many we want to deliver at the end of the day. In this case, they'd have some deliveries almost every day of different product, and sometimes 4 or 5 products. And we could display them in the truck in such a way that the chef would go look at it and say, I didn't order some of these. Could I get some of those next week? It would open up the amount of products we sell. And the restaurant then would receive 5 or 6 products with one phone call.
Where we work better is that we have understanding of when stuff is going to show up, for instance, and that we can't be waiting at the dock or waiting for a boat to arrive to do the unload, and then not have the resources with, you know, whether it be forklifts or whatever to get the fish on the back of the truck and then brought back up to us. It's like we need the infrastructure for our driver to pull up within their routes. There's somebody to put it on the back of his truck and get him back on the road.
It really opens up a lot, I think, for the fishermen, for the restaurants, for local consumers, really.
The dockside market is a phenomenal opportunity for younger guys to get into the game and then start interfacing with customers every Saturday, showing up consistent, and then expanding upon that. If California is big on direct-to-consumer, finding those different neighborhoods that want fresh local fish, you know, that I go out Thursday and then you're getting it Friday or Thursday afternoon, you know, if you come down to the docks. Going to the port, maybe not just here, but maybe going down further to Embarcadero or maybe at Shelter Island.
Marketing would mean adding to the pool of buyers rather than competing with one another for the small pool of existing customers, which is a zero-sum game. The idea of working together should be established by fishermen. And if we were to establish this, I think everybody would benefit from it.
Have the local economy and the local food system benefit from, you know, non-imported fish and local fish. This resource that's here that's, you know, that could stall out, you know, if nobody uses it.
If we don't come together, we will lose it to like large corporations and factory boats that spend, you know, months at sea. And I mean, this is what's left for the most part of the commercial fishing fleet. There's a small presence over at Driscoll's, but if we don't come together, we will lose it.
Funny thing is, people said, do you have a hobby? I said, fishing is my work and talking about fishing is my hobby. I really enjoy talking about it. And I think seeing the future, not the next trip or the next year, but seeing where fishing is going 5, 10 years from now has to be considered, has to be considered. And I always think that in every port, there are 2 or 3 leaders. But it's hard to move people with just 2 or 3 leaders and a lot of followers that argue with them all the time. If you had 2 or 3 leaders from 15 different ports around the country that would meet once a month to talk about what's working and not working in their port, I think this collaboration of the ports would really go far together.